Time to taper, baby. Let's pack, prep, and taper for my first 100-mile ultramarathon. Let's dive in. Hello there, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Olenek, and I am training for my first ever 100-mile ultramarathon next Friday, the No Business 100. And so this week, I want to take you through a little bit of my tapering this week of training, not necessarily all of it, because it's really not that exciting. Tapering is just a less version of what I did in my last week of training video, if I'm being honest, just pulling that back. Or I am spending a lot of time this week packing and preparing for next week. I'm actually headed early down towards my race. My mother-in-law lives about an hour away from the race, and I'm gonna be spending a few days there ahead of time just to kind of not rush my travel, get there, get adjusted, get everything I need to do before the race ready. So I did start packing this week. So I wanna walk you guys through both what I'm packing and bringing with me for the race and how I'm preparing, because I know I get a ton of questions about that, and then a little bit how I'm approaching my taper here this week. So let's first dive into fuel. All right, first things first, I wanna take you guys through the great car organizer. So this is my trunk organizer. I got this on Amazon. I know someone's gonna ask. I don't even know which one it is, but I have it packed to the brim with everything that I could potentially want or need during my race. So we will start in the back and work our way forward, breaking down everything that I'm bringing here for the race. So first we have like my little corner of like miscellaneous items. We have acid reflux medicine, because I do struggle tremendously with reflux, especially with like the carbs, the sugar, and the salt during races and the volume of food over time. We have caffeine pills. If you've been tuning along with my weeks of training in my last race, you realize that drinking the caffeinated stuff has just not been sitting as well with me. So I've been trying some caffeine pills. Instead, I have a caffeine strategy for not introducing caffeine or a lot of it until the night portion to help me kind of stay up through the night. So hopefully those will help without being too much of a gut bomb for me. We've got bug spray, KT tape for my toes, back, chafing, anything I might need there. And then we have cough drops and ginger chews, which are great for your stomach. If you do get an upset stomach or nausea, you can find these at most grocery stores here. So that's kind of my like miscellaneous section. Then here, we do also have a first aid kit that we keep in our cars at all points in time that we will bring as well for the race, and just in case anything with that as well. And then we have our like kind of what we can call, we won't call them whole food section because they're not really good for you like whole nutritious food, but like chewable foods here in the back. So first I have these cracker sleeves. I love the Ritz and the graham cracker sleeves. They are just so easy. You just stuff them in your pack. They're kind of pre-portioned out already, which is really nice. So I always like eating these. I loved Ritz in my 50-miler last year. And so I thought, okay, I'll start bringing them on training and runs and racing, and I've loved them this year, and graham crackers as well. I have these Tate's Bakery cookies. These are something that I really love. These are cookies that I absolutely adore. And so I always like bring them for a little pick-me-up. They're really hyper palatable, easy to eat, easy to get down. They are a little bit higher in fat, but it also helps me kind of get that food in and eat them. So they're just something simple that I really like for myself when I'm racing and training. I always like to bring myself some candy bars. There is nothing like a Take 5 or a Snickers when you are like 50 miles deep into a race or in the middle of 50-miler or whatever to just pick you up. Fats, carbs, sugar, calories, easy, something a little bit different to break up what you're doing. I've got my very own jar of pickles because I don't trust the aid stations to have enough pickles for me because I do love pickles when I'm racing and sometimes they run out. And then these Cape Cod kettle chips, I get the ones that are 40% less fat. So there's a little bit less fat in these, a little bit more just salt and carbs. There's still some fat in these, but just to reduce the gut momminess of it. So I get these ones specifically for that reason. And then we have some miscellaneous snacks that have been left over from the year or had at home right now. So you've got some goldfish, some Nature's Bakery oatmeal bars, and then I have some Pirate's Booty. These are absolutely useless to eat while turning in a race, but I'm bringing them anyway because I really do like them and they taste good. Then we go into the salt and sugar components of this. And so in the sugar, starting here, I have this container here filled with a bunch of just gels and goos. So I've been doing the UCAN gels this year. I've been really liking those. Mixed in with the Huma gels. I have the plus ones with either caffeine or electrolytes packed for the race. The race itself will have Huma gels on the course, which is great. So if I need more or I want more, I don't know if I'll even eat this many gels during it because I'm not the biggest gel person, but it will be good to grab that. And then untapped the maple syrup supplements that I've been doing this year that I've really liked. I've actually really liked these. So these are the three kind of gels that I have found work with me well this year. I tolerate them, I like them, they don't bother me. So we're going with what we know best, not mixing anything new here at this point in time during the day. Then I have my bag. I've done a lot of my nutrition shopping from the feed. I should probably reach out to them to see if I can get you guys a discount because I have been using them a lot this year. And so I have a bunch of like the Cliff Flox gels. I really like, or chews. I really like the Cliff Chews. They're so easy to eat. They're like 200 calories for a pack of these. Super simple. And then just your classic fruit snack sticks. These are just like little kids, organic ones from Costco. Just some easy fruit snack carbs. You can tuck them in your pack and just kind of eat them in one go. And so this is my bag of chewy carb gel type things. And then I have a bunch of bags of candy. So we've got Swedish Fish Friends, which have been my candy of choice this year. We have Sour Patch Watermelons, which have always been a favorite candy of me. So if I need an emotional pick-me-up, I have those. And then I have orange slices. I've always loved fruit or orange slices because like 3 of these are smaller ones. If you get the bigger ones, they're even better because you can just like take 2 for 100 calories. It's just so easy to eat. But 3 of these for 100 calories, a lot less chewing and eating, and not necessarily a gel if you have super fatigued gel. And so I do mix in some candy, which again, I'm not claiming that the Ultra Runner's diet is the most nutritious. It's about getting calories in, my friends. It's just about getting calories in. There's easy ways to get those things in. And then I have some tried and true Go-Go Squeeze applesauce package, which sometimes I really like to mix in with my training. Come on, do the focus. There we go. Then we have our Naked Element. If you guys missed it in my latest week of training video, I've switched to Naked Element just to get the salt in without any of the sweetener or anything like that this year. Simply, we're managing some of my GI issues I've been having. I have pre-bagged Super Scratch. This is 5 scoops of Super Scratch plus 1 scoop of their electrolyte mix. So it's 90 grams of carb per each of these in this bag, pre-bagged out for my crew, so I can just dump them into my bottles when I'm coming into aid stations or have bottles ready for me to grab within this. So that has electrolytes and carbs mixed in, but I will probably have my crew add in the Naked Elements to this as needed, just depending on how hot it is and how sweaty I am. I didn't want to just add the salt prematurely if I didn't need it, so that we can kind of adjust that as needed as we go throughout the day. But I also am bringing extra Super Scratch and Scratch electrolytes with me here as well, just in case we're relying on it more than I planned and we need more. And then I'm bringing caffeinated Tailwind. I haven't been doing as much Tailwind this year because I've been doing more Scratch because it seems to just help with some of those GI issues that I was having for me personally. Even though this isn't hard on my GI, I just feel like that's just an easy way for me to get a ton of carbs in with like 0 effect. But I'm bringing the caffeinated one specifically because the race itself is sponsored by Tailwind, so there will be Tailwind in all of the bottles on the course. So I will probably be drinking Tailwind from aid stations frequently throughout the day and just using that from the course itself instead of bringing my own or mixing that in. So that's one of the reasons I didn't bring or pre-bag any Tailwind specifically, because it will be on the course. And then I have a bunch of Gatorade. So personally, I actually do a lot of the tried and true classic Gatorade. Like that's like the original athlete sugar drink. Gatorade sits really well with me. It does really well for me. I don't get any GI issues with it. I think one of the reasons is Gatorade itself is perfectly formulated to be about 6 to 8% carbohydrate mix, which makes it a lot easier on digestion for your gut. It's kind of more of the ideal ratio and solution. So I do a lot of Gatorade. I got 6 of these. My friend Alex suggested I get more. I do really good Gatorade. I'll chug it at aid stations. I'll put it in a bottle. I'll toss in a bottle with an element on top of it, whatever that looks like. I've got Gatorade. And then I have these canned elements that they released this year as well. We got sent these gifted for being like on the Element order lists from ordering Element this year. And so I ordered more of these specifically for the race because I kind of like them. Just getting a little bit of carbonation or salt, thinking more of me not drinking this on the go, but drinking it at aid stations or when I see my crew as a way to get in some carbonation or salt, because sometimes carbonation is nice, sometimes it's not so nice. And then on the other note of carbonation, I'm bringing myself like 1.25 liters of ginger ale. They will also have ginger ale at aid stations, so I won't need all this on my own. And then 1.25 liters of Coca-Cola. I'll probably have my crew flatten this, so they'll open it up so it will be flat when I see it. That's the thing they call it flat Coke. And they have that at a lot of ultra marathons, so that way the carbonation doesn't bother you, because sometimes that does bother people. So I'll have my own just in case if I need that with my crew in aid. And then last but not least, I have 2 Monsters. I have a really tricky time with energy drinks not causing me GI upset, because often the healthy ones have erythritol and that does not do well with me. But this has your tried and true sucralose, I'm pretty sure. No, this does have erythritol. Guys, gonna have to get a different energy drink. Gosh dang it. A lot of them have erythritol and I just don't do well with it, but I'll have to get some new ones. Energy drinks for caffeine if I want to drink that at night or anything like that. But that's pretty much it for what I'm packing and prepping specifically for it. The only other things that I will probably get when I get closer are probably some noodles or ramen or something like that for night. So I have something warm to eat at nighttime, maybe some more food leading up like the few days before when I go grocery shopping right before it. But I'll probably also rely a lot on aid station food. So I'm not so worried, like I'm not gonna pack and prep potatoes or pierogies or a lot of like foods because the aid stations themselves will have potatoes, pierogies, quesadillas. They usually have like bacon. They have like so many different things that they make at these aid stations, especially since this is a well put on race. So I'm not worried about not having things that I might want or need at aid stations, especially going into night for those reasons. I'm just gonna have to see like what sounds good to me. In my 100K, that was like a 23-hour effort because it was a little bit of a harder race. Really didn't eat a lot of whole foods throughout the night. I really did rely a lot more on quick, easy things. I'm hoping to eat more this year during this race and this effort. I feel like I've prepared for that, but I am going to just kind of have the things that I think might potentially sound good, but then relying a lot on those things. So that's kind of what I'm packing for nutrition leading into this race. So now that we're done going over that, I'm gonna go do a quick little taper run here this afternoon as part of my training. And later this week, I'll walk you through what I'm packing gear-wise, clothes-wise, and all those other things. So let's get running. So I'm out here on my run, an easy 50, 60 minutes. I am technically in week 2 of a 3-ish, 2.5-ish week taper. That's kind of a little uneven since my race is on a Friday and I train through the weekend leading up in my final peak week. But I am kind of doing a very tried and true traditional taper that has always worked for me. This is not the year to try anything different. And so I took the average of my 9 biggest training weeks, or my biggest like peak weeks in the big block of training leading up to my final week of training. And that was an average of like 58, 60 miles per week. And so I did about 30% less of that last week. So I ended up running about 44 miles. I did the Army 10 miler on Sunday. So we ran that race and then I walked 9 miles that day. So I probably had like 50 miles on feet, honestly, last week still, but only like 44 of running. And then this week I'm pulling it back again once more, about another 20% less of last week, or about 50% of that peak week stuff. So about 28 to 30 miles this week for this week of training. A lot of easy miles. I'm gonna mix in some pickups and striders still. A little bit of intensity to keep that in, not removing that entirely. Very similar to like the fartlek speed stuff that I've been doing this year, and keeping that turnover on my legs, and some very, very minimal, like kind of rehabby, pre-habby, keeping it in type of lifting, but nothing really loaded heavy or meant to stimulate like growth or strength or any of that stuff right now. And so it's pretty much where we're at this week and how I'm approaching my taper. And then next week, leading into the big day, I will do a few easy shakeout runs, but recovery will be key for next week. All right, we are back out here in the gym and I'm doing a quick little mini lift. At this point in time in my taper, lifting is the least important thing. I'm not trying to maintain strength or lift through this race like I have others in the past. So my main goal for this is mostly doing the things that have made me feel good and or kept me strong or have kept me mostly pain-free this year. Not introducing anything novel, not loading anything for strength or hypertrophy, just kind of going through the motions of things that I've already been doing. Load is way down, but mostly just keeping those movements in that I do know make me feel good. So I kind of have like 1, 2-ish small lifts this week. If you were to train with us and race in the list method, we have it where it reverse tapers out into your race, but you can pretty much remove lifting entirely or cut back your lifts a lot. That 1 to 2 weeks out or up to 3 weeks out, just depending on the race, the duration, or the distance. So the goal today is not to induce muscle fatigue or any sort of muscular damage, but really just do the things that keep me moving and going through the motions. And that's what we're gonna do. So let's start it. perfect timing. Thank you so much. It's my Keep Going sweaters. All right, y'all, the Keep Going shirts got here during my lift. Oh my God. I am beyond freaking stoked about these. I'm so excited. If we do a second launch or launch sales going on, I will share it here with you guys because these are amazing. I have no reason to do upper body or push-ups this week. We will still do a little bit though for the pump because you cannot have the biggest biceps with the Ultra if you do not train them. All right, I'm out here now on my run. We're gonna do about 4 miles. Miss Kona here, who she repeats with me. This little bean's getting fit. She's able to run over 4 miles now. This might be her longest run. It just depends on when we get back. So I'm really proud of her for that. Loves running, but keeping some intensity in today. I just did some little hill up and down pushes. Nothing super heavy or hard. Hills are nice because they allow you to get in some speed and turnover and intensity, but you run them slower since there's the incline. So it kind of keeps some of the fatigue down, but I intentionally want to keep some of that downhill running where I can this week. I don't have a ton of it, just to keep that exposure on my quads and legs, like I've been intentionally trying to do the last few weeks. So that way on race day, the downhills don't blow me up as much as they will eventually after so much mileage anyway. It's kind of the goal and plan right now. So a little bit more of like a moderate intensity mix with easy intensity run, a Kona shuffle, another taper run.
Much better.
I'm in my gear room, which you know means one thing only. We are chatting race training gear. Now, first, before I dive into the clothes I'm using or planning on bringing, wearing, and or any of the gear that I'm gonna go over here, I wanna let you know that I did make a blog post of my 100 miler training gear, which has clothing items and or links to places where you can find gear. I made an Amazon storefront page specific to my 100 mile race, a like get to know it page specific to this, and or organize the Paragon or Noble items that I plan to wear or use during this race. So most things that I'm showing here should be linked to that, and that will be linked here below. So if you're looking for these things, I already got you. It's organized there. So let's dive in. So first and foremost, the most important thing I have in the gear is I have the crew guide and the race manual. That's what all this is here. This is all my stuff. I printed this out the other day. I will be bringing this with me so that way my crew and or me has everything we could possibly need to know with maps, aid stations. Like this is the list of all of the aids and cutoffs. I'll also have a specific timer sheet that I'll print out for my crew that gives them my estimated paces, give or take, and when I should arrive in aid stations based on those. But the most important thing, the crew guide. We'll go over that with the crew that day. So we'll go over that with the crew the night before, all of that. That's an important piece of gear that I definitely need with my items here. So first off, everyone wants to know shoes. So I will be running in my La Sportiva Jackals. If you remember the shoe saga, I've covered that. I covered that just in my podcast I recorded. I decided to put on all my shoes this year. I try to stray away from these. I went and resized up in these and kept them, and I'm going to be running in these, which I've been running in the last 2 years. I like these. I plan on wearing these for probably the first half or so of the race. They're a little bit more runnable. They do kind of beat up my toes a little bit more when I wear them on running hard with Rocky Train, but I really am not running that hard in 100 miler, so they should be absolutely fine. So I love my Jackals. I'll be wearing those for most of race day. My second option of shoe that I have are these New Balance super high cush high stack shoes. I started running in these starting back in May this year during my Smoky training weekend, and I've been running in them in some form or another. These are a fresh, look how beautiful, fresh and crisp pair of these. And so I wanted a higher cush, higher stack, softer shoe to wear, especially in the night portion and or longer parts in the race, especially if my feet start to hurt, or to just change the shoe that I'm wearing. So I'll probably wear these for half of the race as well, kind of splitting or oscillating between these, just based off how my feet feel or what I want at the time. I wanted to make sure I had 2 different options for my shoes. So these will be the 2 pair of shoes that I will be wearing during this race. And again, they're linked in my Amazon page here below. Next up, we have my running vest. So I'm going to be bringing 2 vests with me. That way my crew can fill my 1 vest and then just give that to me, and I can just take off the one and trade it out for the other during, especially those early on cruise stations where I don't want to waste time or linger or dilly-dally. You kind of want to get in and out before you're fatigued, and you do take a longer time those cruise stations later on. I really want the ability to kind of just turn and burn out and have my crew have things ready for me. So I have my little Ultimate Direction vest here. This is basically the equivalent to my Distance 4 Black Diamond one here. These are pretty similar race vests. They're lighter, they don't have a ton of pockets for carrying a ton of things. For the most part, there's a lot of aid stations in this race. I don't end up carrying as much stuff, or I have enough space in these for what I will need at any given point in time. And so I already have a pack of wet wipes and a space blanket packed in each of these. Those are things that I might need. I'll probably end up putting like chafe, squirrel's nut butter, maybe a little to-go thing in each of these, like little things that I might need, chapstick, stuff that's gonna be in these pockets at any given point in time, so I don't need to switch it out. I'll probably have like Aquaphor, eye drops, chafing, squirrel's nut butter, stuff like that, wet wipes, and a space blanket in each of these. So my crew doesn't have to worry about switching those out, and those are part of the space blanket is part of mandatory gear, but also having things that I might need at any given point in time that I usually like to have for me all the time is Aquaphor and eye drops and chafing. So I'll keep these in the pockets as well, so they can just trade these out as I go throughout the course of the day, and making things easier for me, both in my signature dockless teal. So next I have a ton of water bottles. So I have a variety of either the Black Diamond bottles or the Hydro Pack bottles that go specifically with the Black Diamond vest, or the Ultimate Direction bottles that go with that vest. So I have 3 of each for those. I'm also going to pack a water filter. They suggested this in the pre-race call. It's not necessarily mandatory, but there's a lot of river crossings. It's like my 100K all over again. And then a reusable cup, because it is a no trash aid station race, which means basically like if you want stuff, you can fill in this cup or your bottle as you go through, and they try to minimize cup waste with that. So next I have a whole bag of headlamps, I am notorious for forgetting to pack headlamps. So I have 2 different just simple Black Diamond headlamps, and I own so many because I've had to buy so many because I keep forgetting them. So just the Black Diamond Astros, I have 2 of these, but my main headlamp will be my Petzl Arctic Core, which I do have linked in my Amazon cart for you guys. And most importantly, I just dropped them. I have my backup Petzl charged battery. I also have backup batteries for my headlamps, but it's better to have an extra headlamp than not have enough batteries. So I'll have to make sure those all have fresh batteries and are charged up before next week. And then I have my classic old tried and true Apple headphones with the wire here. So I will have my shocks. I'll also have a pair of older Jaybird headphones, but you can never rely and trust on batteries. My headphones actually died in my 50 miler last year. And so I'm gonna have a pair of emergency backup wired headphones. I do plan on potentially not relying on music for a good bit of the first part of the race and day, talking a lot to Jason, people around me, but I do know that I'm very influenced by music, motivated by it as things get rough or in the night or any of that stuff. I can see myself relying on it a lot. So I want to make sure I have headphones for when I need that, especially when I'm in a pain cave or I just need a little bit of hype or motivation or whatever it is I need in the moment. I love music. Next, I do have my heart rate monitor. I haven't decided if I'm gonna wear this or not. Sometimes when I get nervous, I definitely have stomach like nervousness, and sometimes this makes me feel like I can't breathe and like it feels like it's suffocating me. So I would love to have true heart rate data for the 100 miler, but I haven't decided if I'm actually going to suck it up and wear this the whole time or not risk the extra like chafing risk or anything associated with that. Next, we have our Black Diamond Z poles. These will be the trekking poles, the running specific poles actually, that I will be using during the race. I will use these for hillier sections and or especially nighttime or later on and or early and often, just depending on how I feel. I personally don't love racing with poles, but I know in something like this, I will probably end up using them, especially in the night portion or as I get tired or more fatigued. Poles can be awesome for legs or better than 2. And then next I have just some Sunski sunglasses. I have a bunch of pair of Sunski sunglasses. I packed these just for my race ones. I'll probably have another extra pair or 2 with me of different ones I'll be packing since I'm heading down early. So I'm just gonna make sure I have at least 1 pair of running sunglasses. Sunski is where I get most of my sunglasses. That's not linked on any of my blogs. I have no affiliate code. I just really like their sunglasses. And then last but not least, I have my charging bank here because I'm probably gonna have to charge my phone throughout the race at different points in time because I will be making content for you guys and or texting seeing my crew, so I wanna make sure that I have a power bank so I can keep my phone juiced up during the race and not have to worry about limiting its use outside of just, I don't wanna bring my phone during the race, but I will be using it for things. And then I have these super cute, so if you're on Instagram, you saw my Keep Going shirt launch and or potentially posted about here, but if not, you can still get the stickers or pins here below. And so how cute are these? Let's see if I can get the focus. My little Keep Going flame skull and flower skull pins. So I'm gonna pin these on my vest so as like kind of a reminder to like keep going. That's kind of my mantra for this race and this year. And if you want stickers or pins, I'll also have that link here below. All right, next we have all things clothing, which are important for not only looking cute out there, but also making sure it's functional and practical. So I have a bag here of bandanas, buffs, gloves, hats, compression sleeves, and or ankle compression sleeves, just in case I need any of those throughout the day. I don't know what the weather exactly will be like next Friday. It looks like right now, oh my gosh, wait guys, we are at the point where the weather is on the weather app. That's how close we are to the race. Let me see if this will load real quick. Next Friday actually looks like it's gonna be a pleasant day, knock on wood. Anticipated high of 73, low of 56. That's actually pretty warm. Things can shift, they could change, but that would actually be not too bad if that's what the evening looks like. But I do remember my 100K being so cold, so we're not risking it. So I'm gonna preparing as if I'm going to have a cold night. So I have a buff, I have bandanas, I have all of the things, I have different thicknesses of gloves, all of that stuff in here in this bag for my crew to grab what I might need at the crew stations just at night or switching out for those things. Next, for night, depending on if I need it or not, I have our T-Rex Thin Atom hoodie. I actually had to buy a new one of these because I left my other navy one, rest in peace, on a plane, which is the dumbest thing I've ever done in my entire life, and I really could have cried over that. And then we go into my more formal clothing that I'm gonna be wearing here for the day. So I have a variety of these crop t-shirts from Paragon that I have been wearing all year long in all of my races. I love these things. There's so many variations of them. They are great, especially for warmer weather. I do like the sleeves. If it's cool enough for me to wear a t-shirt, it's nice because it does really reduce chafing around my lats and or any of those parts of my body. So preferentially, I will be wearing crop tees this year. If not, I will have a crop tank or two to intermix with that, especially during the day if it is warmer, to wear during the race. All right, next up we have my tried and true Stance socks. I will be wearing these. I'll probably pack a few more pairs than just this. This is just what was clean before I did laundry this week. I will have extra socks as well as extra kind of everything else. I will be racing in my No Bull 6-inch shorts that I'm obsessed with. I have been running it all year. I actually ordered a second pair. I have 4 pairs of these. A second black pair specifically for the race. So I will be wearing these during the day and or if it is warmer at night. And then I do have a few pair of leggings. I actually packed the legging version of those shorts. So I have green and blue of those No Bull ones. And again, those are linked here below. Oh, I actually have a pair of green shorts. And then a pair of thinner Lululemon leggings just in case I want a thinner pair of leggings depending on the temperature at night there. And then I have these sports bras from Paragon. I'm gonna probably pack a third one of these. I don't really change my bras during races, but you just never know. This is the best sports bra that I've ever ran in. I'm obsessed with this. I actually do think that there's still some of these in stock. You might get lucky because they had such big collections this spring by the time this video launches. But I'm gonna pack a few of these, multiple of these, and that's the bra that I'll be running in during the race. So those, I mean, I've been running in them ever since they released them. They're super comfortable. I do not chafe with them. I do not see myself having any problems with them like I've had with some of my other sports bras I ran in this year. So these feel like the safest bet for tackling 100 miles in. Next, I don't know why I have packed so many long sleeve shirts. There are so many different thicknesses and sizes and styles. I just remember being so cold during my 100K that year. And so I wanted to make sure I had a variety of things. I'm also going down a week early, so I will need to wear some of this just on my own. But I have a few variety of things. I have this merino wool, No Bull quarter zip that I will be bringing this Oiselle wool long sleeve. I actually ran my 100K in this. A thin North Face quarter zip here, a thin Oiselle long sleeve shirt, a Run Wonder Under Rulu long sleeve Lululemon one. And then some of these thinner, I actually just got these. I think they might even have the tag on it. Long sleeve, thinner Lululemon shorts. I just wanted to make sure I had some variety and thicknesses for the race. And so it will depend on what I wear in the heat of the day and or what I didn't wear that week when I'm just traveling when I'm down there early. So apparently I'm really, really prepped for the cold weather. I probably don't need all those, but we have them, so it's better to have them than to not. And then last but not least, hats. I'm bringing a variety of hats if I want to change throughout the day and or night. I do have a buff headband in my one pack there, so if I want to switch out a hat for a buff, I do have that as well. Especially at night, I probably won't want to wear a hat at night. I'll probably switch for a headband, but you guys know me, I love hats, and so I just simply picked the 4 colors, so that will match most of the things that I packed. So I'm always on brand out there during the day. And that's pretty much it. Pretty simple, nothing crazy. You know, at this point in time, you know, you've been doing this for so many years, you don't really need that much different gear and or things than you use for anything else. So you can go back and see the video of my 100K gear prep and some of my other races, my 50 miler last year. It really just depends on temperature and or just, you know, making sure you have things preparing you for night or extra variations of things so you're ready for weather or changing and all of that stuff. But it's really simple. It's the same gear that I've been running all year in and or using depending on the goal or the objective of what I'm doing. I just kind of have it all with me. I think that way more of it goes into the preparation planning than really needing any uniquely, suddenly differently gear than anything else that I've been using all year. So there we go. That's the great 100 miler gear prep pack lineup of what we have. We've covered food, we've covered my gear, we've covered my clothing. Let's go get today's training done with. All right, my friends, we are officially all packed, that whole big bin here. We've got the food, we've got the gear, we've got the clothes, we've got everything that we need ready to rock and roll for next week and pack up to head down to Kentucky, Tennessee this weekend ahead of time. And so I'm gonna get here, I'm gonna get in here a little kind of bro pump sesh, kind of lift, little accessory, rehabby vibe type thing, super quick so I can sneak in my miles. And Kona has a doggy play date tonight. And so I need to get my workout done before girlfriend is gonna go hang out with her girlfriend. So let's hit it. This is supposed to be floor press, but the wind keeps blowing so much dirt and leaves in here, we're not gonna do the floor. All right, super quick and easy on that one. Last lift for a few weeks here. Let's go get one of my final taper runs done and finish this day. All right, back out here doing another easy 5-6 miles again today. I have my last long run tomorrow, 10 miles. I'm gonna go to the trail and do that. And we're just easy zone 2, slow coasting here today on this one. I will do a few foot runs next week. I'll probably do a few striders on like a Monday or Tuesday run, but nothing crazy. Lots of easy little things next week. So everything from here on out is really recovery. We are 1 week out tomorrow. Hey friends, we are at the trail and we are 1 week out and we have our last long run of the year, an easy 9-10ish mile run here today. I'm probably just gonna do 5 out, 5 back here on the trail. Super simple, super easy. I wanted to make sure I got some trail feet in and kind of use today to celebrate the work really being done today. I do have a few easy shakeout runs next week, and I'll have one final run for this week on Sunday that I'll do to wrap up my miles for this week. But other than that, like the bulk of it is done, and so I feel really proud of that. I'm really good about that. But the work isn't done. My coach Noah actually, in my final check-in reply, he just sent me, I thought this was, you know, a very appropriate and powerful response was, you know, we haven't made it yet. We're a little over 100 miles away. Let's finish the job. Everyone wants the view, but no one wants the climb, and there has been a lot of climbing, and the summit is so close. And in quotes, what's there to be happy about? The job's not finished. So the job isn't done. But I am going to celebrate the work that has been done this year because I think that itself is so relieving to get to this point. So I'm going to pack my pack. I've got a bunch of old gear here today since I packed everything for the race, get some more miles on my high cushy New Balances since I just wore them for the first time ever last week, and wrap up this taper week of training. 1 week out. I can't believe we're saying that. Let's do it. All right, my friends, we're finishing up this 10 mile here today on this beautiful, cool, amazing fall day. I have a few more miles on Sunday to wrap up a low 30 something mile week, and then let's do shakeouts next week, and then the big day. I want to say thank you to all of you for tuning in to this year's 100 mile prep. If you haven't yet catch up on all the videos, get an idea of what it took to get here, and I'm so excited to share the big day with you guys. Thank you, and let's go 100 more miles to freaking go.